W.L. Laney is a baby boomer, author, inventor, entrepreneur, but he's just like you and me, right? Raise your hand if you had hard times. Raise your hand if you once had a great idea. Raise your hand if you once thought everything was going okay, and if you just stay the course, you'll retire rich, you'll have the American dream. And then it hits the fan. And then a health crisis comes in, or a bad business deal comes in, or a divorce, or an illness. Something terrible happens to you, and you're back where you started. Or worse, you're in debt and in poverty and in despair. W.L. Laney has seen it all. He's my next guest. He's written a book called The Phoenix Success Strategy, and he's here to share his story with you, share a little inspiration, and maybe take your calls and texts. Mr. Laney, thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Thank you, Jordana. It is my privilege to be here, and I like to tell people I sell hope. And all the things that you just named off, we all face it. The thing you have to remember is you have hope. We all have
hope. Honey, we all have hard times. Yes, of course, we all have hope. That's hard to see sometimes, but everybody, the most unifying things about us is that bad stuff happens. And bad is relative. Pain is all relative. It could be losing $100,000 in a market, or it could be being homeless. Pain is relative. So I want you to share your story with us. No advice right yet. No, none of that stuff. Tell us your story.
Okay, Jordana, I was living the life that everybody's looking for. Great business, great family, great location, living in Phoenix. Had a great office. It was about 3 blocks from the golf course, and everything was wonderful, working on a very big transaction when everything went up in smoke. And
what was your business?
I was working in the mergers and acquisitions. We were working on a roll-up in the staffing industry. At the point where everything went up in smoke, we'd invested about $500,000, plus a lot of time and effort.
Okay. So was it a market issue, or was it a mistake on behalf of your business?
I believe that it was a market issue. The financing, the funds that we were looking for the roll-up dried up in a simultaneous event with 9/11. And, I do not focus on that at all, Jordana, because I don't think that any of us are going to make any headway if we play the blame game and say, I was doing wonderful, but this happened. And that may
I think it's important to know, though, where you came from and where you ended up. So did you lose nearly everything, or was it just part of your business?
We didn't lose nearly everything. We lost everything. It's when it goes up in smoke, it's like a wildfire. It consumes everything in its path. First, it was the transaction that went south. Then it was the business that followed it. Then it was our personal lives. It was the dream home that we had built that was being foreclosed on. Everything went.
Wow. What was that like for you?
Well, I can tell you it wasn't any fun. I was driving around in an older Mercedes SL that now the air conditioning had gone out, and that's not a good thing when you live in Phoenix, Arizona, in the middle of the summer, and it's 112 degrees, and I'm out trying to earn enough money to buy groceries and keep the utilities on in the home that was being foreclosed on. Jordana, literally, I'd stop outside of a beauty salon before going in, and I had rolls of paper towel with me to wipe the perspiration off my body to make myself more presentable, to go into the salon to sharpen scissors, because I knew that was a source of instant cash that would buy groceries for the next day and pay the utilities to keep the air conditioning on in our home that was being lost.
Wow. And that's a testament right there. You're managing money, you're in the market, and here you are then thinking, I got to sharpen scissors because I got to get some groceries for my family. God bless you for doing that, because a lot of people would have thought, I'm above that. That kind of job is beneath me. Absolutely not. I'd rather go hungry. But good for you.
Well, you nailed it right on the head. Too many people have too high an opinion of their own dignity. And in order to, and I don't know if we've got time to go into all this or not, but it's important that you have a mindset of, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make this work, whatever it takes. And I knew that there was money available if I would go and sharpen scissors. However, I didn't have a scissor sharpener. So I went to the day labor place, and I got a job. You're going to get a kick out of this. My job that I got was Mr. Peanut for the grand opening of a Walmart store. Fortunately, the costume that Mr. Peanut wore had a screen on the front of it so that people could not see that it was me, that was, this upstanding citizen that had everything going, the lovely house and all those
driving
things.
The Mercedes.
Driving the Mercedes and standing there handing out peanuts to earn enough money to try and go and buy a scissor sharpener. I didn't earn enough money as Mr. Peanut, so we did the next things that were necessary, which was the garage sales, the trip to the pawn shop with firearms that we had, golf clubs, musical equipment, whatever we had that we could take to raise the money to buy what we needed to survive. And then, you go from the depths of despair, you go from that bottom place, and 4 years later, I'm operating a very successful business that I'm able to help other people get into business and developed a lifetime income. Now, that I don't care about Social Security. I don't care how what happens in the marketplace. I have a lifetime income that's coming that'll take care of me, take care of my family, and I did it starting from absolutely nothing at age 59. Lost it all.
And let's talk about that. You're 59 years old. You're sharpening scissors. You're going to the pawn shop. What was it? And we'll take a break and come back. But tell me, what was the turning point for you, and where was the mark where you said, okay, this is what's going to take me to the next level and I can turn it around?
The turning point was the day that I'm literally standing outside this salon. My wife calls me on the phone and asks me if I am okay. I am and always have been a very positive individual. I had to admit to her, no, I am not okay. I have no future. I have no hope. I don't know where we're going to turn from here. I don't know what we're going to do. And just admitting that to her, I had to admit it to myself, and that was the turnaround point.
Wow. And that's the rock bottom. People always say you have to reach that rock bottom because then there's nowhere to go but up from there. At that point, did you know what you had to do? Did you have an idea of what was going to get you out of this rut and what was going to make your next career, or were you still feeling hopeless?
Well, I'm still feeling hopeless at age 59 when you've lost everything. I know a lot about business, but I did not think I could take that scissor sharpening business and turn it into something that I could retire on in less than 10 years.
Amazing. You know what? It's 9:47. Let's take a quick break. I am chatting with W.L. Laney, who is an entrepreneur and author of the new book, The Phoenix Success Story. When we come back, he's going to tell us how he took scissors and got rid of Social Security in just a few minutes. W.L. Laney was a master of the universe. He was in the market. He was wheeling and dealing. He was a very successful businessman in Phoenix, Arizona, and then he lost it all. After 9/11, the market tanked. Our recession hit him hard. He had nothing. He is sharing his story with us. He went to the pawn shop to get rid of his golf clubs and get rid of the things in his home. He was standing outside a salon after the air conditioning went out in his car, wiping himself off with paper towels to go in and sharpen their scissors to get money for groceries. His wife calls him and asks, "Babe, are you okay?" And he says, "No, I am not okay." That's where W.L. Laney, entrepreneur and author of the book Phoenix Success Story, has left us off. And W.L., thank you so much for sticking with us. Tell us now the story of your ascension into financial independence.
Jordana, I will be delighted to do that. One other thing, though, I'm afraid we are going to run out of time.
We only have 5 minutes left.
I'd like to offer your audience a free copy of my book, The Phoenix Success Strategy. I give step-by-step instructions on how I moved from that low point back to business as usual for me anyway. Mm-hmm. And so anybody who calls before noon tomorrow to my office, it's 855-WL Laney. If you'll call, my secretary will make sure to get you a free copy of the book, step-by-step instructions.
I have also put a link to your website on my Facebook site, so people can log onto my Facebook site, get your number, and get a copy of the book.
Perfect, Jordana. That is great. One of the things that I wanted to point out is I have been collecting Social Security now for 4 years. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I have been paying in to Social Security more than I have been taking out each of those 4 years because of the success of my business. So for the baby boomer who is looking to retire and wondering how in the world are they going to do it, I suggest business ownership, developing a lifetime income so that you are not dependent on Social Security or family or getting a job as Mr. Peanut or a Walmart greeter. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just running a business is a whole lot more fun.
How did it get there, though? You're Mr. Peanut. You're the guy sweating in your Mercedes. What's going on? How did it happen?
Okay. Well, here's what happens. First of all, you've got to know what it is that you can do. Now, I had sharpened scissors many years before, more than 40 years prior. I had sharpened scissors. I was traveling as an evangelist for our church, and sharpening scissors was perfect. You go in, and they either needed it or they didn't need it. You could sharpen, you get your money, and you go on to the next place of business, whether it was a salon or a fabric upholstery shop or whatever. Okay, so I knew that I could do that. That's why I did whatever it took to buy the machine. When I got into the marketplace, I discovered in the years that I'd been gone, things had changed. The scissors were redesigned, and the sharpening equipment had not kept up with it. So I was going in, and I was doing the very best job I could with antiquated equipment, which was damaging the style of scissors. That does not work for me. So I've hired a engineering firm to help me develop a new system that I now have patented. So I took what I knew how to do, went out to do it, and then made an improvement on that. Then I began to develop a business plan so that I could turn around and help other people, that they could go out and make money. I mean, most people would never dream of the money that can be made sharpening scissors.
I have no idea.
You can make $100,000 a year quite easily.
But is the crux of this, WL, it's something you knew how to do, something you were good at, and that you just took to the next level?
Exactly. I took it to the next level, and you've got to get started. You know, don't lay around. And I have nothing wrong with people that apply for unemployment or whatever they need to get them through a rough period. But there's more to life than being on some kind of a government handout.
All right, WL, I got to cut you off. WL's More to Life is linked on my Facebook page. Check him out. Get a free copy of the book. And, sir, thank you so much for joining us tonight.